The Philadelphia Eagles began OTAs yesterday, and while a lot of the young players are the ones being talked about, there's one veteran that I think will have a huge year for the Philadelphia Eagles. And also, I went on Twitter and I got a bunch of people riled up because I said that I think that Jalen Hurts is the Black Tom Brady. So let's talk about it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today I want to talk about a veteran that I think is going to take a major step forward. It might be somebody that you're kind of like, how could that even happen? But I think he's going to take a big step for the Eagles and help us win this championship. Also, I want to talk about how I got everybody upset. I wasn't even going to do this as part of the video, but I got everybody upset because apparently, you can't compare Jalen Hurts to Tom Brady. But I'm going to show you why and kind of tell you why I am comparing them. Now, before we get into that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 10K. Love you guys to join that ride, man. I really would. Now, last night, we did the call-in, we did the Jan call-in. We do it every Tuesday, so if you guys, aren't a part of them, definitely join. We talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Last night, we were talking about a lot of Sixers, a lot of random stuff, but one thing that we did bring up was, and it was a question from the comments, they asked us who we thought would take the next step, take a big step this year, help us win the championship. Obviously, I did a video about 3 guys I thought were going to have to take a big step this year to help us, but one guy that I didn't talk about was someone that I think that a lot of people aren't necessarily thinking of all the things that surround him, and it's going to be Fletcher Cox, right? So look, Fletcher Cox is going to be most likely on his final year with the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe his final year in the league. There's that motivation to go out on top. There's that motivation to kind of solidify your legacy, right, with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I know Fletcher Cox is going to want to go out there. He's going to want to win. He's going to want to show that he's still got, juice left in him. He's going to want to show he's still got gas left in the tank, right? And on top of that, you got a lot of young players that now you get to kind of live your legacy through. So a guy like Jordan Davis, a guy like Jalen Carter, you can bestow knowledge upon these young men and kind of lengthen your legacy in 4 or 5 years. When we're watching Jalen Carter and we see a move that we're like, damn, I remember when Fletcher Cox used to do that, we're going to think of you and say he must have taught him that, or he must have showed him that, or he must have helped him a little. And that's another way that a lot of these NFL players lengthen their legacy, right? Once you retire, there's not much, for you to do on the field, obviously, unless you come back and be a coach or something like that. But if you can just instill some lessons in these young men, it's going to go on for the future. Now, as far as play, we saw it with Brandon Graham last year, right? Brandon Graham had a career year on a career low of snaps, right? He was not utilized as much as he was throughout his career, and it really helped him. He had a lot of guys, right? You had a guy, Josh Sweat. You had, obviously, Fletcher Cox in the middle. You had a Javon Hargrave in the middle. You had Hassan Reddick. You had so many guys on that defensive line just kind of filtering in and keeping guys healthy and keeping guys fresh, and it really helped Brandon Graham. And I think that Fletcher Cox is going to be in the same situation. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. I would assume, to be honest, I would assume that he is going to be a starter, that he is still going to be that #1 guy out there. But how many snaps will he get is still, still to be seen. Will he be a guy that's, less of a starter, more of a rotational guy? And it'll be interesting if Jalen Carter is getting 30 to 40% of the snaps at defensive tackle. What does that leave for Fletcher Cox? You still have a Milton Williams in there. You still have a Jordan Davis in there. Where does that leave a Fletcher Cox? And I think that if he is getting less snaps, he's going to be very healthy and he's going to be very fresh. That was one thing that I felt like seeing over the past couple of years. You didn't see Fletcher Cox going 100% every single play. And I understand it to a certain extent. You are getting older. You are getting beat up in this game, right? You play a lot of snaps. So I think with the less snaps, it will definitely help him. And I just feel like he's going to have a breakout year. What does a breakout year mean? Obviously, he's possibly a Hall of Famer. I mean, so what else can he really do, right? But I think if he goes out there and if he plays anything less than 40% of the snaps, maybe 35% of the snaps, and he can get us double-digit sacks, maybe, double-digit tackles for loss, something around that line, or just a lot of pressures and a good amount of tackles for loss, I would be happy with that. If he's a force in the middle of that defense again and just goes crazy this year, I would love that. Have the Eagles maybe break that sack record that we almost broke last year, or at least top what we did last year, or at least touch that same height, right? I really do have a lot of faith in this defense and in this defensive line, and in Sean Desai, that he's going to be able to get the most out of these guys. Fletcher Cox said pretty candidly that he didn't necessarily love, right? I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but he didn't necessarily love what Jonathan Gannon was doing with him. He didn't feel comfortable in it. We saw a change once he said that in his press conference. So I think that you're going to see a further change with Sean Desai kind of wanting to get the best out of his best guys. We saw it when he was with the Bears, and I think that we'll see a rendition of that with the Philadelphia Eagles. So like I said, I think that Fletcher Cox is going to have a huge year this year. You guys let me know if you think I'm bugging on that, but let's get into what got everybody upset. So Tom Brady, I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to say this first, right? Tom Brady is Tom Brady. There is no other Tom Brady coming in the draft. There is no other Tom Brady in the NFL. There is probably no other Tom Brady being conceived at this moment. He is a one of one. He is one of the best, if not the best quarterback to ever play this football game. And to say that any player is just as good as him would be a complete lie. I would be lying saying that. Now, I want to say what I said. I put it out on Twitter, and honestly, it was kind of a joke, but it was kind of serious. I said that I think that Jalen Hurts is the black Tom Brady. Have a great day. That's basically what I said out there. Why did I say that? I truly feel like if you look at Tom Brady as a passer, right? I'm trying to take away the running ability of Jalen Hurts. You look at Jalen Hurts as a passer compared to Tom Brady as a passer. Tom Brady never had the strongest of arms in this league. He never was the guy that was going to gunsling it down the field, 80 yards down the field, and just whip it all around. That wasn't him. His game was, and some people would call it dink and dunk, but realistically, his game was making good decisions and getting the ball where it needed to be. High rates of success. That was the name of the game for Tom Brady and the offenses that he played in. It was get the ball to your playmakers, let them do something. So at the end of the day, you look at Jalen Hurts, I feel like that's the same thing. Jalen Hurts is a good decision maker. He has very good accuracy. He can make things happen, and he knows where people are supposed to be on the field. I forget exactly who I was watching, but they were talking about Jalen Hurts and what he does as a quarterback. And they were talking about how some quarterbacks, and I'm going to try and look for it, and if I find it, I'll put it up on the screen. But he was talking about how other quarterbacks, basically, they know, okay, it's cover 2, I have to go to this person, or it's cover 1, I got to go to this person. My hot route's here, I got to check down here. You know, they know where the players are, but they don't necessarily let it develop. One thing that Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady did very well was allow things to develop. You might have the hand in your face, and obviously Jalen Hurts is allowed a little bit more leeway in that, category, just because he does have the legs, so he can move around a little bit more, well, not a little bit, a lot more than a Tom Brady can. But Tom Brady was very, very good at moving in the pocket, which I think people don't necessarily equate to a mobile quarterback, but he was very good moving and climbing in that pocket, which I think Jalen Hurts is only going to get better at. But also, like I said, you have that running ability, so it does allow him to get on the edge a little bit more and allow things to develop. But that's a big thing. That is the big thing with a Jalen Hurts, is that he's looking for the best play. He's not looking for necessarily the set play. He's looking for the best play, and he does it quickly. The first 2 years even, you looked at his progressions, they were kind of slow, but he was going through them. And I think that was something very big to see. So look, am I saying that Jalen Hurts is Tom Brady? No, I'm not saying that he is exactly him. He's the black version. He's the black Tom Brady. That's what I said, right? I truly think that you have in Jalen Hurts, you have a guy that's going to find a way to win no matter what. And what did you have in Tom Brady? A guy that was going to find a way to win no matter what. There was a lot of knocks on his arm strength. There was a lot of knocks on him coming out of college, and we saw what happened. So I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is going to have a Hall of Fame career. He's going to have 6 rings. He's going to be the MVP. He's going to be this, that, and third. But I think if you realistically look at the progression of their seasons, the progression of their career so far, right? We're 3 years into the Jalen Hurts experience, right? And if you look at where Tom Brady was in his first 3 years as a starter, take away, you know, the rookie year because he didn't really play that year, but you take away Tom Brady's rookie year and you look at his first 3 years comparatively to Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is on a very good trajectory. Jalen Hurts has a higher QBR than Tom Brady in those first 3 years. You look at the interceptions versus the touchdowns, the percentage is way on the side of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has 19 interceptions up until this point in his career. Tom Brady had 40 in his first 3 years. If you look at the touchdowns, there is a separation in the amount of games played. So the first 3 years, Jalen Hurts only played 34 games, excuse me, and Tom Brady played 45, I believe is the number. So, you know, there is a separation in games, but if you look at the distance, so there's about 2,000 yards distance between Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts. Tom Brady has about I think 10,200, something like that. Jalen Hurts is just under 8,000. So you know, there's about 2,000 yard difference, but that's about 195 yards a game. So I do believe that in the next 12 games, which would even up the game's amount of played for Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts, I do believe he'll close that gap, if not exceed what Tom Brady was able to do. You look at the touchdowns, it was 40 to, I believe, like 40, it was 69 to like 45, something like that. It was 15 difference, right? It was 15 touchdown difference in a 12 game span. That's about 1.25 touchdowns a game that Jalen Hurts has to throw for in order to exceed what Tom Brady did. So you look at the numbers, and I truly do feel like there's a lot of reasons why you can make this comparison. Maybe it was crazy. Maybe I'm bugging out. Maybe I didn't have enough coffee this morning. That's why I brought it to you guys. And shout out to my guy, J Tuck, because realistically, I wasn't even going to do this video, but then he was like, you know what? I know you, dog. You did this to do a video, so now I'm going to do a video just so I don't prove you wrong, my dude. But either way, y'all know what it is, man. Let me know what y'all thinking in the comments. If y'all enjoyed this, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe. But other than that, it's fly equals fly. And we are out here. Peace.
Yeah. Fly equals fly. You on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater. And you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog. Or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season head, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.